Ready to paint a calendar page? Today we're going to do the month of July. And of course, July the 4th, it's that time. I thought it would be fun to paint some fireworks. And if you're thinking, oh, I don't know if I can do this, I assure you, you absolutely can. I'm going to show you a way that is super fun and easy. We're going to use some watercolor. We're going to use some masking fluid. And, I have some gouache here, some Daniel Smith gouache. You can use any gouache, and I'll explain why I'm choosing gouache as we go. If you don't have it, don't worry. You can use watercolors. It will work. I've done it with just watercolor before, and it worked just fine. So don't worry. Let's go ahead and get started right away. First thing we're going to do is we're going to think about our fireworks, like where we're going to place them. Now, if you want to, this is fun also. I will be sharing this on Instagram on the 4th of July. You can create like a skyline. If you want to create a skyline right here of buildings and put your fireworks above them, you absolutely can. I think I just want to do the fireworks. I have painted one with a skyline. Again, I'll be sharing that on Instagram. And if you don't follow me on Instagram already, it is Clark_Fine Art on Instagram. Everywhere else, it's Clark Fine Art. And I'm sure it will show up on my Clark Fine Art page on Facebook as well. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you might see it there. All right, so for brushes, I have my 10, my 6, and then my size 4 long round. These are, again, the Princeton Velvet Touch brushes. This is going to be fun and really easy. I think another thing that I might do is let's grab some metallic watercolors. If you don't have them, it's okay. I've shared with you guys a Wink of Stella brush before. These are wonderful. I bet you could even use something like this, like an iridescent medium, if you had it, and just brush some of that on. Lots of options with this one. I have like this set of the Soho metallic watercolors. These are great. You have so many choices here. I think I also have some metallic watercolors from Meeden. And we've also got these, which I've shared with you before. I absolutely love these. These are the Pearl Colors, the Gold and Silver, Calero, which is Fine Tech. They're made in Germany. I also have the Gonzai Tombi Starry Colors. So any of these kind of things would do just fine, because we're going to do a couple that are, I think I'm just going to use those, although I haven't used these yet. I'll have to link these in the description below. These look pretty cool. They are the shimmering watercolors. I'm really looking at this one. Look at how much sparkle that has. I think that is going to be fun. I think we're going to use that one. And so that is Cool Silver, Dark Silver, Pewter Silver, Pure Silver, Warm Silver, and Light Silver. That is the colors of these. I thought, you know what? I have golds. How about a silver set? And, I can't read the box because it's all just the colors, and that's about it. But I will link to these in the description. I should be able to find them. I got them on Amazon. So let's give that one a try. Because we're going to, and look at these pans. Look at the pans with these. They are big. This is like bigger than one of the Gonzai Tombi pans. Those are about like that big. And then you have like that extra there. We're going to use these for, how when you watch fireworks and they set one off and you see that trail go up in the sky and it like is kind of glittery and sparkly as it's going up, and then boom, right? And all the color comes out and the firework explodes. We're going to try to do that with this. And we're going to use a gold one too. So how about I'm going to take the Moon Gold, this one. I think that would be pretty. So I'm actually just going to take that out so I don't have so much stuff sitting on the desk. And I will walk you through how we do all that. All right. So one of the first things we're going to do is think about our fireworks. I think I want 3. I think I want to have like one here, one up here, and then I'm going to have some of these shooting off. Like these are, and then these are on their way up, getting ready to be the next firework that we would see. And again, I am not going to do a cityscape down here in front, but of course you could, if you want to see what I'm talking about, just check my Instagram or Facebook, Clark Fine Art. It is at Clark Fine Art on Facebook and Clark_Fine Art on Instagram. All right. I want to grab a little stylus like this. I want a very, very fine point on that. You see how tiny that one is? Very, very tiny. That's going to come in handy as we design our fireworks. Now, fireworks come in all kinds of colors, right? There's green ones, there's blue ones, there's red ones, there's the silvery, shimmery ones, there's gold ones. There's so many different colors. So you can paint your fireworks whatever color you like. I think that I'm going to go with, let's do like a red. Let's have like a red one over here. I'm going to get, so these are my Soho metallics. I love this set. I absolutely love this set of metallics. Usually if I need some metallics, this is the one I will grab. And I'm just going to put my gouache up here because we won't need that till later. All right. These are super easy. We're going to take a red color. So this is rose and that's light pink. And I think maybe just kind of combine a little bit of the two of them. You ready for this? All you got to do, think about it. The firework goes up and you have like that circle. Now you can get fancy. You know how sometimes they have the ones that burst and there's like a ring and you can do these however you want, but it all starts the same. We have to put down our color that's going to be, and that's a little higher than I said I wanted, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Okay, we're going to put some color in here. You don't have to be too picky about it. I'm grabbing some of that light pink now. They take just a moment to wake up. But boy, once they do, they're so pretty. I'm just going to put some of this in here too. I'm just thinking about that big, like, chrysanthemum shape, right? And they kind of boom and trickle down. So there we go. And that's going to have some sparkle to it, right? I don't know if you guys can see it. Of course, it's wet. So when it dries, we're going to add to these after. We're just getting the base of like where they're going to be. How about a blue one? I want a blue one, right? 4th of July, red, white, and blue. All right, just a second. Okay, my alarm was going off. I don't know why. All right, blue. So this has a brilliant blue. Let's try that. But my sky is going to be really dark, so I don't want something that's going to end up being too dark. So we'll put this one here. Okay. Maybe it's like going that way and just... let's get some other blue mixed in there. This is an interference blue. Maybe I'll get some of that in it too. Oh yeah, there's lots of shimmers in that one. Interference blue. And that's one where like if we tip it, we're going to really see more of the color showing up. So we're just going to drop some of that in there. Okay. Doesn't look like much right now, does it? I promise you, trust this process. Trust the process. Okay, how about, not necessarily white. What color can we put there? Let's go with like, how about it like a yellow? I guess we're doing primary colors. You can do whatever colors you want. If you want it to be a green one, if you want, ooh, purple would have been pretty. We have some pretty purples. Let's go with purple instead of yellow. That just sounded exciting. So I have purple deep and then like silver. I'm going to do those two together. Now, if you don't have metallic watercolors, you can do this part here with just regular watercolor. Just pick the colors you want your fireworks to be and put those colors down. Think about how like this one would have like it's exploding this way. This one's going to come up and that will be falling down. This one here, I think I'm going to have kind of the same. Maybe it'll burst at us. Like the center will be here and it'll just burst out from all sides. And you'll see exactly what I mean in a moment. Let's add some silver in there. I think if that had some deeper purple, it would be pretty too. But again, my sky is going to be dark. I want these to show up. I want them to look light. So I'm going to add in a little silver in here. Just dropping it in. Oops, that was the purple. Just dropping it in around. Okay, there we go. Those should have some shimmer and sparkle to them. We're going to do some touch-ups at the end. Oh, now we need to do, let's think about I'm going to grab my size 6 round for this. So let's think about our fireworks that are taking off. I should have like gotten these wet ahead of time. These ones take a moment to wake up. I'm not sure how these are because this is the first time I've ever used it. Wow, that's sparkly. Ooh, I'm excited about that one. I think that's going to really be nice. All right. So let's just picture they set it off. And let's say it's coming from here. It's traveling upwards. I'm just going to like tap this in. Right. Let's just follow its little upward trajectory here. You see, I've kind of avoided that. I'm going to come like it's behind this purple one. There we go. And it's going to be like right about here, about to explode. Like that. Look at how sparkly that is. Can you see how sparkly that is? That is shimmery. All right. Oh, yeah. We got to let all these dry. Now we're going to do the same thing with the gold, but I'm going to send the gold up over here. And this is moon gold. So if you have this set, a lot of people do have this set. It was very popular a few years back. So if this is in your stash, that's a great time to pull that out and have a play with some. All right, so all I'm doing is tapping. I'm not making a straight line because when those take off, when those are shot up, you don't see necessarily the straight line. It's like almost like glittery going up as you follow it up. Follow it all the way up here. Let's go in behind this pink one. Start to come out this side. Right, and right about here. It's getting ready to explode. We heard the thump as it took off. And we're about to hear that bang. And then all this will, like, you know, the little glittery, shimmery, sparkly ones? That's what I picture these are. Okay. We could do others if we wanted to make it like there's more getting ready to go. We could absolutely do that. Let's just wait and see if it actually needs it. We can always add them in at the end because these are opaque. So we could add them at the end. Now, we have to let this completely dry. So I'm going to pause for a moment While this dries, I'm going to clear these away because we won't need these again unless we need to do some touch-ups at the end. So I'm going to get these off my desk as this dries, and we will start again in just a moment. Okay, I used my heat tool and I went ahead and dried this. I added a little bit more tape so my paper didn't kind of buckle. And now let's look at how much shimmer these have. Look at that silver. That is something else. They just sparkle. The red doesn't have as much, but look at these. Look at how they sparkle. These are going to be great. Now, the next thing we have to do is we're going to use our masking fluid to create our fireworks. If you have one of these fancy little pens, these are great. I'll just show you, and then I'll show you if you don't, if you just have regular masking fluid. Now, again, I did say that these metallic paints are opaque. So technically, you could put down your gouache first for your background and have a really dark sky, and then come on with a metallic paint and paint in your fireworks. That would be fine. These, I think, are really easy when you do it this way because you don't have to worry, right? It's just blobs. This is not intimidating. We just painted 3 blobs of color. Now we're going to use some masking. So if you had one of these pens, you would start by, now this one I said we're going to have the center here and we're going to have it exploding out from there. So I would put down maybe a few dots right in my center, and then let me zoom this in for you guys. Okay, so I'd put down some dots in the center. And now remember, this is going to go out from the center. So if everything's coming out from my center, I'm going to come out. And I like to do, if I'm using a pen, a dot and pull it that way. So a dot and pull it that way. Right, so and I pull it. So I have the larger part at the outside. But another way that you can do it, if you don't have one of these, if you don't have a pen, take your masking fluid, whatever masking fluid you prefer. And now I'm going to use, let me just get that dried piece out, my dotting tool. Right, so I can just get a dot and then flick it towards the center. So I can put a dot. Oh, put a dot. It was kind of a big dot, but that's fine. Flick it towards the center. I had a lot of masking on it that time. I'm just going to leave that be. Right? We're just going to go around and we're going to make these. So you see where having the pen kind of comes in handy because you don't have to keep going back and forth. If you use a brush for your masking fluid, that's fine. I don't use a brush. Here I have one of my silicone tools. I'm not sure where my pointy one, oh, here it is. Just my pointy one. I could come in with that. And again, I'm going to go to my next row. I'm going to put a dot, pull that towards. Can you guys see that? And I'm just going to keep going around because this one is just exploding out. And I'm going to get a little further as I go. I had too much. I wish I had a brush for masking that I didn't care about. Soap it up and have a go and see how that works. I've never done it with a brush. I was always like, oh my gosh, I don't want to ruin my paintbrushes. So I just always used other methods. And then of course, we have to let this dry on its own. We don't want to use our heat tool with our masking. I have seen some people do it. I don't usually do that. As I move out, they're going to get a little bit longer. Like the tails are going to get a little bit longer. And I'm just kind of filling in the spaces. I'm always putting it down, coming back towards that center. If one doesn't go perfect, like that one was a little crooked, it's not a big deal. If you're using a dotting tool every now and again, you're going to have to pause and clean it off. Like some of it's starting to dry. It's actually letting me get some of it on there a lot easier. And you can see it gets darker as it dries. I love the PBO drawing gum. I've never had a problem with the blue. I like that I can see it. On pretty much every paper I've ever tried it on, it's always released really cleanly for me. So it's just kind of a favorite. Now, when I get out here, and I might do some around that outer, these, I'm going to put my circles, and I want them to have a little bit more of an arc, right? Like they're kind of, it's coming down. And I can certainly put them there and really pull. I'm just pulling up as far as that masking will let me go. And I'm going to come back and let's turn this as I go. And I'm going to fill in the gaps, right? Like between all of these. We're going to really fill this space up. That was a big one. It's fine. If you feel it's too big, you can always, right? You can always remove it. I'm just taking some of it off because it'll dry faster. And then I can just rub that spot off and put a new one down. I had a lot on my stylus that time. This is one of those that you have to wait for the end. The payout at the end is just, it's so cool. See this one? Probably dry now. And I can just remove that masking. And I can see that it lifted a little bit of the glittery parts. So not a problem. Like I said, at the end, we're going to touch these up. So it may take a little bit of my shimmery stuff off, but that's fine. Also why you can just paint these in watercolor first. And then if you wanted to go back and add shimmer, you sure could at the end. That one was kind of big too, but I'm just leaving it. It's going to be fine. All right, I'm just going to fill in some of the space. Right, if I see a gap, like here. Gosh, just have fun with these. My goodness. So what I will probably do is once I start to set up the other ones, I'm going to speed this along because I think once you guys have seen it, you get how we're doing it. I'll explain what I'm doing with the others, but I'm not going to make you real time see all of this going down. You can just pause the video if you're painting along. Oh, that was a big one. That's okay. So you can pause the video while you do all of yours. And then once they're dry, come back and we'll do the next step together. But I will show you how I'm doing the other ones. The other ones are going to be a little different because they're not going to be a center explosion like this. This is definitely like one of those chrysanthemums type, flower style fireworks. And I'm just looking for places where maybe I have a gap and would like to have a little extra. Okay, it's not coming off. There we go. Every now and then, just clean off your stylus. Like some of my dots were really getting big, so if I clean off my dotting tool or my stylus, it will also let me get some smaller ones back in there too. I'm just kind of looking around. Where else can I put one? Right? Where's there a space? And I'm always pulling towards the center. I think that one's pretty full. Again, when we do our final touch-ups, if there are other spots, we're going to be able to add some more later. But for now, that's good. For your ones that are coming up like this, you're literally just going to take your dotting tool and you're going to go over where you put that down. Don't worry if you touch a little bit of the white, it's going to be fine. You don't have to be precise. You don't have to cover every single spot. I mean, like I see some sparkle that's kind of outside of my masking fluid. I'm not worried about that. When I get up here, this was like a bunch of little dots. So that's what I'm going to do with my masking fluid. Okay. So I'm going to do the same on that other one. Now, when we look at this one, remember I told you I said I was going to have it exploding a different way. So I'm going to think about that. If I want it to be like the center's here and it's falling down from there, I'm going to put my few center dots up here. Right? Like there's the part where it's coming from. And it's going to go, right? It's kind of coming from this space. It's kind of a big one, but again, don't worry about it if you get some big dots. You want to kind of work my way around and everything goes back towards that location. So as I work my way down here, right, they're going to get bigger and bigger as they fall out this way. And they'll be short here. Okay, on this one, I'm probably going to do where the top is up here. And this is a big cascading down firework. So they all kind of look different. All right. So I am going to speed this up now and put in the rest of my marks. And then once it's dry, we'll resume normal real time and we'll get to our next step. Okay, all of it is on there and you can see how there's like it's coming from different places, right? Where they were facing when they exploded is different on each of these. We have our trails for our next ones that are going up, and again you can see some of that metallic shimmer that's kind of poking out the edges. It's fine. It doesn't matter if you got all of it or not. Okay, the next part, this happens pretty quick. And again, you can take black watercolor. I'm going to do a combination of black and ultramarine and mix those together. You could do that with your watercolors, okay? If you don't have gouache. You don't have to use Daniel Smith gouache. You can use any gouache. If you have jelly gouache, it's fine. The reason we're picking the gouache is because the gouache is going to be nice and matte and flat looking. It's going to be really dark. And then when we reveal our fireworks, they're just going to be sparkly and shimmery and they're just going to pop. Okay, so I'm going to put some of this on a little dish I have. Whoa, as I try to throw my gouache around. I'm just going to put some of this out in a dish. We're going to mix it up and we are going to paint it all over the entire thing. We're going to cover everything. And then again, well, we have to wait for it. Oh, a little bit of binder separation in this one. That's okay. And if I end up with too much paint, that rarely happens, but if I end up with too much paint, I'm not worried about it. I'll just use it for something else. So I'm just going to mix these two together. I had a lot of black there. Really get these mixed up. I'm just mixing them in a dish. And bring a little bit more water in. Perhaps just give it a spritz so I don't have to put my brush. Okay, let's paint this. Let's get this nice and dark. I'm just going to make sure my tape is nice and sealed. All right, we're going to start at the top. We're just going to cover the whole thing. And then again, we have to wait. That's the hardest part with this project, is waiting. Because we can't take our heat tool to it, because once again, we have our masking fluid on there, and we don't want to make it bond. We don't want to make it bond to our paper and not be able to get it off. When I go over my fireworks, you'll see that I'm going to kind of go as few brush strokes as I can. Just kind of get this on, get that coverage. It almost looks like I'm getting a little bit of resist between the Daniel Smith, and actually it's on my masking fluid, so that's fine. That's not a problem. As long as it's covering the other color that's underneath. We don't mind if our masking fluid resists our paint. We're going to take that part off anyways. I need a little bit more of my ultramarine blue. And we're going to just mix these two up. It should give me enough to finish. The ultramarine blue is just to help our black have a little bit more depth to it. Not be so boring. There's a lot of gouache on my paintbrush right now. Making sure I fill in all the tooth of that paper, and I'm making sure that where I'm seeing it resist is only on my masking fluid. Keep seeing me dip into my water because my brush just feels really dry. And I know it's not going to spread that gouache if it's too dry. You're doing this with watercolor. You might just need to paint a couple layers. Paint it on, let it dry, paint it again before you take it off. And if a little bit of your color, right, if a little bit of the color from your circles kind of shows through, it's fine if you have that color glowing underneath. It's just, oh my goodness. See, I told you I rarely mix too much. It's usually I don't have enough. The color is just going to glow through, and that's fine. And there we go. Okay. See how flat that is drying? That's going to be wonderful. Now, what I need to do is I've got to make sure, I'm just making sure I don't have any odd globs of paint. That the only bumps I'm seeing are masking fluid. We need to let this completely dry. Oh, there was a lot of gouache dried in that brush. My water just went from almost clear to completely black. So I'm going to let this dry. Once it is completely dry, we will remove our masking. And we're going to make some magic. Fireworks are going to happen. All right. See how nice and matte this is? we're ready to make some fireworks. Look at that. That's why I chose the gouache. It's so dark and it's nice and matte. Now let's go ahead. I'm going to take my rubber pickup and I'm going to remove the masking. Now again, I mean, to me, this is like one of the most satisfying parts. But if it seems like it's taking some time, then I will fast forward. But for now, it seems to be coming up pretty quickly off of that metallic paint, which is nice. Oh, look at that. So you see the shimmer that I had before isn't there as much. So we might have to touch some of these up. I'm going to start with this one. It might be tedious putting that masking on, but look at the results you get. This is like almost as satisfying as the tape peel. Look how easily it just releases. I love that this masking. And that Molotov, the pen, like I use some of that up in here. It also comes off so easily. Look at that firework. I hope you guys are enjoying this one. I hope you're going to give it a try. If you do, please tag me. I would really love to see it. If you are a channel member, you can become a channel member for as little as $2.99 a month. You'll get access to our Discord server. And you can share pictures of your art, but you can also share them in the community tab. There's a lot more bonuses over on Discord, but we do have the community area here on YouTube. If you're not familiar with it, you just visit my channel page and you're going to click on See Community or Visit Community. It's one of those two. And that will take you to the community page and you can actually create a post and share an image. If you've painted something from one of the tutorials, you can share an image of that, or you can just pop on over and say hi. I would love to hear from you. Drop me a comment over there. Look at that. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? And that was our purple one. It's not looking real purple right now. A lot of the metallic came off with the like the surface part of the metallic came off with the masking, but we're going to fix that in just a moment. We'll touch that up before we do our tape peel, and you'll see when we do that why I said you could just paint down your gouache first and then come back and put your metallic colors because your metallic colors are usually opaque, and you could put them on top, but I just find that this way, well, I just like doing it this way. I love pulling the masking and revealing the fireworks. So if you can paint blobs, you can paint fireworks. All it was blobs of color, and then we put dots of masking and pulled it towards the center. Super easy. All right, I think I have all my masking off now. I'm just going to brush this off. So all of the masking was rubbed off with our rubber pickup. And now we're going to touch up some of this because a little bit of our sparkle is missing. I'm just going to wet my brush. This is my size 4 long round. I'm not going to need that big one. That's for sure. And this was our silver one. Let's put some of this silver back. I love this color. I'm so glad that I got these because that is like, wow. And I'm just dabbing up, and if I go a little outside of where that line originally was, it's fine. Like, see here, now let's watch where this, if I had just painted the gouache first, and I wanted to come in and go with this on top. See, it's not quite as bold as you get if you put them down first. And then I'll bring it up closer so you can see. I don't know how well that is translating, but through here it is darker. Okay, so that was our silver. Let's do our touch up our gold. Just to bring that sparkle back. And then I'll show you. Now, the gold did leave a lot more behind when I removed the masking. And these are so opaque. There we go. You can, if you just had watercolors and you didn't have metallics, if you had a Wingstella brush or like some iridescent medium. Let's take a look at the iridescent medium. This is just one option. So this is made by Winsor & Newton, and I can take some of that iridescent medium and like, let's look at these blue ones, right? I could just put some of that on top. And see if the light will pick them up. Can you see the sparkles? Oh, they will start to sparkle. So that is an option if you don't have metallic watercolors and you just want to use your regular watercolor. The Wingstella brush is very similar. This is a clear. I like I think it's a Christmas set. You can get, there is a clear, a silver, and a gold. Now the only thing about this is if I touch that black gouache, you see here how it got dark, it's going to try to pull some of that black gouache, activate it and pull it in. So you want to kind of be careful with one of those. All right, let me grab my metallic watercolors again so we can just touch up some of our sparkle. So I have my Soho. All right. And I'm going to start with my reds first. So I'm just going to grab some of the blush color. I don't really need to bring in the dark red because, I want the sparkle. Right. So I'm just going to bring this on top. I don't have to do every single one. Don't worry about the lines coming up being perfectly straight either, because those are falling, right? They're falling from the sky and they're going to like kind of shimmer, they're going to wiggle and move, and yeah, they don't have to be They don't have to be absolutely perfect. All right, we're going to do our tape, remove our tape here in a minute. That is absolutely one of my favorite parts. I'm just going to turn this so I can see like where I've done. Try to get these done faster. And I love this because if you have your calendar displayed and you're walking by, now this isn't going to translate. If I scan this in to share an image of it, of course, it's not going to translate as well. You want to be careful not to touch your gouache because you'll pull some of that in. Look at already how much brighter that's starting to look. So it might not translate the sparkliness, the shimmer that I see in person, but you definitely get the point. Okay. I wish that when you masked these, it didn't, it didn't pull some of that metallic off. Because then you would just be one and done. You wouldn't have to come back and touch anything up. And you don't have to make them sparkly. You don't have to make them metallic. You can just paint them with watercolor, remove the masking, and be done. And it's still going to look like fireworks. This is just one of those times. I don't use my metallic paints often, but this is certainly a great opportunity to let them see some action. And then see here, like I don't have a spot there, but you know what? Maybe one would look good here. So I'll just put it in. And I don't know if I'm catching every single one. And it's fine if I miss some. Those were some big blobs of masking fluid. But again, remember I told you, like, that's okay. Look at how those are. Okay, look at those two. I don't know if the lights will pick up the shimmer, but I love it. I'm going to add a little bit on my blue here. I do love how that iridescent medium is looking where I put it on there. And for this one, I'm just using what they say is blue. Oh, I touched that one a little wonky. Just make it another spot. Fine. I swear I need to put that on some merch. It's fine. I say that all the time. Right? It's fine. But it really is. I think we get so worried about our paintings being perfect. And we forget that they don't have to be perfect. Right? If you want something that looks perfect, grab your camera, go take a picture. It's going to be perfect. And your paintings are a chance for you to express you, for you to come through. Are you guys ready for the tape peel? Definitely my favorite part. I'm going to warm it up before I peel it to make sure that it releases nice and cleanly. This is such a simple painting, but I love it. So if you thought, I can't paint fireworks, I hope that seeing this now has you thinking, I can totally paint fireworks. Because you can. You definitely can. might be a little bit of a drop of masking right there. Well, I think I need one right in there. Right, if you see any little spots that you think, oh, look, that's a little bare. Maybe I need something else there. Just pop one in. Just a little dot and a tail. That's it. Okay, I think there is a piece of masking, right? Yeah, there was. There was. There we go. Ah, I kind of like want to have another one like popping, getting ready to come up like through here. I'm loving that silver color. I love how that looks. It dries so quickly. Look at that. It's so sparkly. I think I'm having another one. I have it kind of come up. Right? It's launching here. I'm going to send it right through this one. Right? It's coming up behind. And it's about to explode right there. How about one more? I really don't necessarily care for even numbers. Oh, maybe we could do one just starting here. Right? It would be like, let's do it with the iridescent medium. Let's see if we can paint it with that. I don't know if this, I don't think this is going to be opaque enough to actually paint on here. Because it would be like, here it is launching up, right? And we have this like squiggle. It's just starting to take off. It almost looks like that's what is leading up to that one, but you guys know better. It's not. But once that dries, I think it's going to become like almost invisible. So I'm just going to drop a little bit of this into it as well, because I think that will hold up a little better. And I'll get a gold one over here. Then we'll call it done. If you've enjoyed this one, please do hit that like button. Give it a thumbs up. I won't know until editing if you missed the masking coming off. Hopefully you didn't, but if you did, I apologize. That's a fun part to see. So again, I'm going to kind of bring this up and make it feel like it's coming straight behind this guy. Right, it's getting ready to, that boom is getting ready to happen. Fuse has launched it. It is in the air. There we go. Okay. I'm going to warm up that tape with my heat tool. All right, this has got dried as well. Are you guys ready? I love this part. One of our quotes is, "Art is not a thing, it is a way," and that is Albert Hubbard. Ooh, look at that line. I love the crisp clean edges. All right, here we go. And a little tiny bleed underneath the tape, but that's all right. Our other quote up here says, "Art is the only way to run away without leaving home," and that is Twyla Tharp. Look at that edge. Which one's your favorite? Do you like the way they are facing different directions? Are you going to try to paint some fireworks now? I hope you will. We had a little bit of bleeding underneath the tape there, but again, we could clean up that edge. I'm not going to worry about it. I think it's fine. I will be sure to scan this in and share it over on Discord. for those of you who have been following along. And of course, this, you guys have seen this on the thumbnail. So there we go. Let's get a nice close look at that. Look at our fireworks. Can the light, look at, okay, do we see the shimmer? They are so metallic. Look how, when we tip it. Oh, they sparkle. They're so sparkly. I wish I could really pick up the sparkles. I wish you guys could see it as sparkly as I see it. She's sparkly. See what I mean? How it didn't really, like, there's some extra silver here and up here, but this didn't show up as much. I figured that's what would happen once it dried, but that's all right. I still think it's fine, and I love it. There is our calendar page for July, and doesn't the gouache make a difference because it's so matte and so dark back there? All of our metallic shimmery fireworks just really show off in this one. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and share this video if you have somebody who, you know, might like to see this kind of content. Until next time, my friends, keep creating. And I will see you in a video real soon. Have a safe and happy 4th of July if you are here in the US. Until next time, everybody. Bye.